All right, y'all. It is time to get political. So, this is part two of the Free Thoughts episode of this month. I figure if I do it like once or twice a month, whatever, I feel like that'd be a decent, ability to cover everything that's going on. Okay, so Venezuela, I think it was a necessary evil, considering we don't like kings, right? No kings protest. Remember that? But that's only if it's in our country, not if it's in others. Then that's different. We want to give back their dictator. Why are we protesting to give back a Venezuelan dictator who's been out of office since 2020 and we got him in 2026? He's been there for 6 years, conquering this land, not trying to give it up, not trying to get out of office, and we want to give him back for reasons, right? Oh, but nobody's, able to top the evil that Trump's doing, right? And so I seen this news article the other day that said Trump is Hitler. It had Hitler with like a blood mustache or something on him, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, how is Trump Hitler? Hitler killed millions. How many has Trump killed? Have you not seen about the people that are getting killed by ICE? Okay. There was one lady who interfered with the federal investigation. Do I think she deserved to die for that? No. But that being said, you need to leave people alone and they will leave you the fuck alone. Otherwise, you might, she was blocking traffic and she tried to run over a federal officer, which is a big no-no. You cannot do that under any circumstance at all. And so the federal agent thought he was, in fear for his life, so he acted accordingly. And he's able to do that. He's within his legal right to do that. Impeding a federal investigation, number one. Number two, threatening a federal agent's or a peace officer's life. And number three, trying to do vehicular manslaughter. I don't think people understand how heavy a vehicle is when they say stuff like this. Like, bro, vehicles are 2, 3, 4 ton things that can go very fast, very quickly. Our bones cannot handle that many G's of force, and cars are able to bring a decent amount of G's towards your human body. The human body is very delicate, mostly water. I don't know if you guys have ever ran over a puddle before, but that's basically what would happen. And I know people are saying like his bulletproof vest. Well, no, it's meant to stop bullets, not impacts. There's a reason why, if you know anything about ballistics, people still wear trauma pads, because the bullet impact, the penetration might stop, but the force does not. I seen a video where this guy had to wear 7 trauma pads just to stop most of the force of the bullet, and the force that it did still bring after having all of those trauma pads on would still bruise the mess out of his ribs. So that being said, you guys need to learn the facts before you say stuff and stop trying to run people over. Number two, why were they protesting in the first place? Before she got killed, were we literally protesting to keep illegals in the country, to keep stealing our tax-paying dollars? And somebody made a really good point. A lot of liberals don't care about taxes because they don't have jobs. Either that or they're paid protesters who are getting paid to be there, just like January 6th, which has been proven to have a lot of federal agents there. So either way, it's pretty messed up that our biggest and best pastime of this country is to hate on each other, to hate ourselves. Who's the biggest enemy number one right now? It's Donald Trump, our own president, who got elected. Don't you think if he wasn't doing a good job, he wouldn't have won the election by a landslide? Did you notice that nobody said anything about fraud this time? Not because he's won all of his fraud cases, but because we actually voted for him. He actually got the popular vote. There were a lot of people saying that, hey, I voted for him. He fixed the economy for a little bit and we need that back. Joe is doing a fucking terrible job. And day one, he ruined the fucking oil industry by turning off that pipeline. Joe can be bought and paid for. You see that. Day one, I noticed that. But Trump cannot. He has his own interests. He has his own money. And another thing, speaking of money, Did you guys know that Kennedy was, one of the ones to get the most money out of anybody? Obama was number two, but not Robert F. Kennedy. Sorry, it was JFK. Not Robert F. Kennedy. It was Bush, Obama. Obama was number two, but number one richest was always Trump, because he was already a billionaire. But Obama went from like being worth 10 million to like 130. No, it was like 170 million. So he was number two, but it was before Bush. Let me look it up real quick. Give me 1 second. But while I look this up, who increased their net worth the most as president? No, that's wrong. Where is it at? I gotta find it again. But yeah, Obama was worth 1.8 to 3.8, and then after he was worth a lot more. But it was he wrote the Nicki, the Nicki Minaj girl. No, I'm just playing. But the guy that came out with all those books, he went from like 10 million to like 190 million in his net worth. So he increased a lot. He's selling the mess out of them books too. But these people are out for themselves. Ilhan Omar is a really good example of this, because she herself married her cousin, right, which is not banned in Islam. By the way, I think Islam is like the second coming of Satan, the Antichrist. But Islam, they're allowed to marry their cousins, which is why I think a lot of them aren't smart. I think it's by design. I think Muhammad knew that people marrying their first cousin, second cousin is going to be, keep them dumb. And if you keep them dumb, you can keep them in check. By the way, I'm checking for the AAC head stamp on these because I was finding some of these remanded ones that were mixed in, and my accuracy went to shit last range session. So I'm double checking this whole bag of like 400 or 500 rounds, just because I had like one or two that messed up my whole accuracy thing, and I thought that my gun was tripping. Like I thought I had like a blim in my barrel or something, or like my ammo was very inaccurate. But like, this AAC has never let me down before, so that's what it was. I had some remanufactured mixed in there. Anyways, so she married her brother to get in the country for basically fraud. Not worse than the BLM leaders. She gave her brother like 17 million or something for protecting her, and he was never even her security guard. Like, he gave her money. That's why they're in Dale. You'll probably never hear from them again. We'll get to that in a minute. And so I think it was all just a ploy to get a lot of these Somalis into the country and get them government funding, because her and Tim directly signed off on quite a few amendments and bills that got passed in the vise of, helping daycares and helping kids. Who doesn't want to help the kids, right? But this money was not going to the kids, and they've uncovered almost $17 billion just in Minnesota that has not went to the kids, that have went to these shell corporations who don't have any kids, have never had any kids. And how do I know this? I'm 98% sure that there's one down the street from my house here in Ohio that I've never seen kids at. They have kids' toys out, but like, I drove by yesterday because it gets pretty dark here, like really fast. So I drove by there, and there was not a soul in there, and it was barely 6 o'clock. And it says they have to be open 6 to 6 in Ohio. So I've never seen more than one car there. I've never seen any kids there. Even in the summer, I've never seen them like playing or nothing, which is very weird to me. And so I'm thinking I might do some investigative journalism myself and check that out. But there's a lot of fraud going on, and we need to uncover it. And that's why they want you to hate Trump. They want you to hate Elon, because if all else fails, everything they will say you won't believe. You'll think it's a lie, so they can go on lining their pockets, keep committing this fraud. All of these illegals can stay in this country. Did you know that these illegals were getting, I gotta make a separate video about this. I think I already made one on this channel, but think about posting it on my main channel. But they were getting WIC, food stamps, housing vouchers, vouchers for babysitting. Whole time most of them own a babysitting business, and their wives are working at a grocery store, because they usually have a babysitting thing right here, and then it's connected to like a mall that has a food place right there, or a grocery store, and they own both. So the wife is working, making like minimum wage, whatever, and whole time they're committing this fraud, and they have kids, and so their corruption needs to be stopped. But there's a reason, people aren't dumb. People are waking up. Tim Walz lost the re-election campaign. He just dropped out before he could even continue on starting, because he's so corrupt, and they're so crazy about how they're going about things. Like, they're just denying stuff before anybody even gets a chance to even accuse, and they're like, oh no, conspiracy theories. And like, no, we've seen, why are these Somali pirates that's what I'm calling them at this point, why are they so neglectful? Like, why are they so, like, I get that you want to protect the kids, but are there any kids? Why do these buildings that they're examining look abandoned? I know an abandoned building. I know a bando when I see it. These buildings are abandoned. So it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why are they getting on the news with $3,000 pairs of glasses, but they're saying like, oh no, we've been shut down? But then the news is saying no, they were just closed at the time. Oh no, sorry, they were, so the news is lying. I've said this before, the news lies. They're all owned by one shell corporation that makes and puts out all the news. Everybody should know by now that the news is lying. And once I heard about it, and I seen that this independent journalist is investigating this, and basically continuing an investigation that the federal government started but stopped, because they said that it would, and I quote, implement those in the Biden administration. So they stopped it, of course, as soon as Biden got office. They're like, oh no, we're safe for a couple more years. Woof. Now that Trump's back in office, the truth is coming back out, and these people need to be stopped. This is tax-paying dollars that could go to funding our veterans, not being homeless, giving jobs to homeless people, giving food to homeless people, water, helping out our kids with funding that actually could be used for American citizens. Whoa, who would have thought that? Actually giving daycare funding to daycares that actually need it, daycares that are actually open in our urban and suburban communities, actually using the funding for what it was designated and designed for, using the tax, or just giving it back to the taxpayers. Like, let's just give back all the money that was stolen. I bet that would get Trump in good favor with people. I guarantee it. And this is only not even a year. It's been like what, 10 months? So, he's uncovering a lot. He's doing a lot. And this is why they tried to bankrupt him. This is why they tried to kill him. And this is why they tried to arrest him. They did not want their corruption being exposed. And they know that Trump is so real with it, he doesn't care who gets exposed, because he's not implemented in any of it. But of course, they will try to throw dirt on his name, and they will swear that he's the worst president we've ever had, even though he won by a landslide, won all the swing states twice, and had the biggest win in election history, even bigger than Obama. But they'll swear that we all hate him and everything like that. No, we're getting tired of the corruption. We're tired of the violence. We're tired of the lies that everyone is pushing on him, about him, and because of him. And it's not just him that's being lied on. These are, American citizens that are being targeted because of what they believe and what they say and what they feel. If, regardless of what you feel or how you say or whatever, that should not cause you to react and act on something that is a lie. You cannot kill somebody for calling you the N-word. You can't kill somebody, stab them in the chest for basically feeling threatened and say, can I claim self-defense? There's a reason why Carmelo Anthony is going to jail for life, because he escalated the violence. He stabbed a kid in the heart because he felt threatened. You can't do that. Like, you escalated the violence to a lethal threat, and you cannot do that. And I feel like everybody should have the right to protest whatever, as long as it's peaceful. You can't incite violence. That's obvious. That's a law. I feel like even the KKK have the right to protest as long as it's peaceful. Everybody might hate them. A lot of people feel the same about the Black Panther Party. Why were they out there protecting illegal immigrants? Why are they being resurrected to protect illegal immigrants? Because they're brown? Is everybody brown black now? That means we have black Eskimos. That means Elon Musk is black. That means, because Elon Musk is from Africa. So if anybody with any type of dark or African descent, there's a lot of white people who have black in them. I don't know if y'all don't know that, don't tell no Hebrew Israelites that. But, this makes no sense. A lot of these ideologies don't make any sense if you really break them down and uncover the thinking behind them. Speaking of Hebrew Israelites, why is it that they think that, what do they think that happened before this guy talked to this angel supposedly and gave him this lost Hebrew language that nobody has ever heard of before, Lashawan Kodash? And they follow this guy who said the world was going to end in 2000. What happened after that? After, when 2001 came, what happened? Did they just forget about that? Like, these are obviously false gospels, false doctrines. Anybody who believes that Jesus isn't God is, teaching a false gospel. They obviously not reading the Bible in context. And anybody who believes that only black people can be saved is crazy. Like, what happened before people knew that they were black Hebrew Israelites? Like, these thousands and thousands of years before everybody, quote unquote, woke up. What do they think happened to everybody who died? Do they think they were just in waiting? Or did they think that God gave them a chance to, like, hey, were you black when you were alive? No? Okay, you're definitely going to be a slave. They believe that slaves will be in heaven. Anyway, I digress. Speaking of color, this is a great segue. Did anybody else know that Kamala Harris's husband is white? Because I know I didn't. I had to look it up and believe it for myself, because there's a reason why they hide this stuff to me. They want to trick you so bad that they're willing to hide their husbands. Like, if I was her husband, I would be mad as hell. Like, why do I have to stay off the campaign trail? I can't even support my wife possibly becoming the president because the country's that racist that they won't vote for me because I'm white, because I'm married to somebody white. Like her, I was gonna say Ilhan Omar, but no, AOC, and there's a lot of black activists who are married to white people. Don Lemon, he's married to a white guy. He thinks that white people are the biggest problem in the United States, but he's married to a white dude. Like, makes no sense. It makes no sense, guys. Like, the hypocrisy makes zero sense to me. But they keep comparing the chick that got killed to ICE with Charlie Kirk, and it's not even a fair comparison. Like, one got killed for what he believed, his religion, and how bold he was with his speech and how he wanted to change America for the better. And one got killed because she disobeyed the law and a federal officer felt threatened. So they're not even on the same continent, let alone the same playing field. So don't compare the two. That's like comparing Kodak Black to Lil Wayne. Like, they're not in the same era. They're not in the same junction. Neither is Michael and LeBron. Let's stop that as well, since I'm on the topic of comparing people. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in this comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to continue sorting my ammo while I, openly work through my furry thoughts. All right, guys, peace.